Guys, everyone, please check your audio and video settings, please. Everyone, please check your audio and video settings, please. Everyone. Singleton class, boss. Yeah, singleton class. Today I'm going to talk about first singleton class, right? Yeah. This is the background preparation with respect to Spring Bean scopes. Spring Bean scopes. In Spring Bean scope, there is a scope called singleton scope. With respect to that, I'm teaching what? Singleton class, singleton Java class, right? Okay, guys. Single means one, ton means object. The Java class that allows us to create only one object in any situation is called singleton Java class. In any situation is called singleton Java class. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Instead of creating multiple objects for Java class, either having fixed state, are you understanding my statement? Single means one, ton means object. Singleton means what? One object. Are you understanding? Okay. Instead of why should we go for singleton Java class? Listen, guys. I have a class with no state. That means no member variable declaration. Or with fixed state. Only final variables are there. Or shareable state in multiple places. The data is shareable in multiple places. Instead of creating multiple objects for that class, use that object only for one time. Create object only for one time and use it for multiple time in order to use CPU time and memory effectively or not. In Java, object creation process is very costly affair. In Java, object creation process is very, very costly affair. Very, 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 very costly affair. Understanding? How much you can reduce, it's better to reduce. How much you can reduce, that much it's better to reduce. Are you getting my point there? Are you understanding my statement, guys? Come on. Instead of creating multiple objects for Java class, either having fixed state or shareable state or no state, it's recommended to create only one object and use it for multiple time to use memory and CPU time effectively. Okay, why I should think wise? Singleton class is design pattern that allows us to create, that allows us to design Java class, in a such a fashion for which we can create only one object in any given situation. In any given situation. Super na, boss? Okay. In Java, In Java programming, object creation is bit costly affair, costly process towards using the memory and towards using the CPU time. So it is recommended to minimize the objects creation wherever it is possible. Wherever it is possible. Wherever it is possible. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Okay. Aditya, see, can you bring your common sense? I designed a class given to you, and you are planning to use that class in multiple layers, multiple classes. Tell me, there is a possibility of creating multiple objects in multiple layers. Suppose if that same class is designed and given as singleton, let them try to create any number of objects. Only one object will be created and it will be used again and again. Use common sense, Ra Babu. Okay, everyone look at the chat box once. Aditya asked one question, which is having some sense. Sir, when we know that object should be created only one, then developer will not create many times, right? So even then, why we are using design patterns, sir? I designed class, someone has given class, right? I designed class, someone has to use it. That someone has to use that class in multiple places. If it is a normal class, in multiple places, he may attempt to create multiple objects. If it is a singleton class, he is forced to use what, guys? He is forced to use what? One object, though he is trying to work with that object multiple times. Yes or no, na? Predefined singleton Java classes. Singleton Java classes. Java.lang.runtime. Let me ask one question. In the execution of one Java application, how many runtimes will be there, guys? In the execution of one Java application, how many runtimes will be there, guys? One runtime. One runtime. Okay. Though each object of runtime represents runtime environment of Java application. Though I ask to give multiple objects of runtime, all of them should represent same runtime. When all of them are representing same runtime, is there any need of creating multiple objects, guys? Is there any need of multiple objects, guys? One object is sufficient, na boss? One object is sufficient, na boss? Come on. Okay. Durga Prasad, listen, worst fellow, listen. Singleton Java class I am teaching so that I can explain singleton scope effectively. Right now, I am not teaching singleton scope. Clear, my dear? Hand over your brain. Why I am teaching, why I am teaching. Don't decide. You don't become Natrasar. Natrasar is already there doing his job. Everyone, when I'm teaching the point, don't ever analyze why I'm teaching, because I do a lot of background preparation. Durga Prasad is asking me, so our singleton is ready-made scope. Now, why are you teaching singleton class? That's why you should come on time or you should hand over your brain. Okay. I'm teaching singleton Java class design pattern so that I can link and explain singleton scope. I think this statement, this third time I have given so far. Addi fellows. Okay. Because every Java application execution contains only one runtime. Only one runtime. Okay. Okay. Now listen, guys. If I feel that a doubt is invalid, I will stop giving a reply. I will give personal reply in the chat box, or at the end, I will take such questions because it is disturbing the flow of other subject. Okay. If I ignore your question, don't repost your question in the chat box. Hold it till the end. Ask me. If I don't reply in the chat box, if I don't give reply in the classes, so don't post that question again and again in the chat box by assuming sir is not seeing my message. I'm seeing all the messages, boss. Clear? Because you ask one or other silly doubt that is nowhere related to subject. It is disturbing the flow. Right, boss? Right. Java.awt.desktop. The interesting part is all of a sudden someone asked, this Sunday class is there. Serious subject is going on. I was in the heaven. I given great concept today. I'm explaining. Someone asked, this Sunday class is there, sir. When job market will open, sir. That gives me a lot of frustration to me, boss. No, why I will get that frustration, not the fact you asked the question. The fact that you are not listening class, thinking somewhere. For the fact. Okay, guys. Rupali madam, in standalone application sessions will be there. Come on, madam. In any situation, one object means what does it, madam? Try to read my English statements, madam. In any situation, one object. What does it mean? Any situation. Okay. One more. Okay, guys. Java.awt.desktop. No, I have to clear now. That's why. Because one system will have one desktop. One system, have one desktop. I request everyone to focus on current topic, please. org.apache.logger. log4j.logger. Because one project needs one logger object to write the log message. Clear, guys? They have designed singleton means there is a purpose, boss. There is a purpose. One application execution, one runtime. If you try to create 20 objects also for that class, it's a waste because all of them will represent same runtime. So better to create one object, use it for multiple times. Desktop class object represent computer desktop. One computer will have how many desktop? Only one desktop. So create one object, use it for multiple times. Okay, logger object. All log messages should be written to single log file. So that's why so that's why for project we take one logger object. You will get this knowledge in log4j in future. Okay. Super, guys. To develop singleton Java class by having minimum standards. Listen, guys, today whatever I'm going to teach, that is singleton Java class with minimum standards. That means basic thing we are going to develop. To develop Mr. Perfect Singleton Java class, that means perfect Singleton Java class, I need 80 days time, daily 1.5 hour time. Okay, then only you will get Mr. Perfect Singleton Java class. Okay, that I don't teach in regular Spring class, boss. That will be discussed in a separate design pattern batch. We have Java J2EE design pattern batch, where 30 plus design patterns will be covered. Okay, in free slots, that batch will be started. Don't worry. In free slots, that batch will be started. Okay, so there I will spend 10 days time to complete perfect Singleton Java class. Because we assembled here for what? Spring classes, not the design pattern. Okay, guys. Yes, some more. That's why whatever we are going to learn, I will announce. Every batch will be announced. Whenever I start that, I will inform you people to come and join in that batch. Okay, today what I'm going to develop is singleton Java class with the minimum standards. Okay, guys. Perfect singleton means no question of breaking that pattern by creating second object for the second class. Minimum standard means one or other loophole will be there to create second object for the class. Perfect means no loophole will be there to create second object for the class. Yes, guys. Okay, now listen. What is the basic concept of singleton Java class designing? Close all the doors for creating object. Open one door to create the object. In that one door, check whether object is already created or not. If not created, create and return object. If already created, return the object. If already created, return the object. Are you enjoying my statement, guys? This is the basic fundamental. Lot of outsiders are coming and watching movie in the theater without taking the ticket. Without taking the ticket. So what should we do? Close all the doors of the theater, open only one door. There you verify the ticket and allow the people to go inside. Problem is solved or not? When you have multiple doors, there is a possibility people coming from other doors. Unknown people are entering to your home because your home is having 5 entrances. To solve that problem, what you should do? Close all the doors, open only one door, keep the security guard there, or keep the CC camera there. So what happens, guys? We can verify whether person is right person or wrong person. First of all, what is the biggest door to create object outside the class? New operator. Whenever new operator is used outside the class, we can create object. But new operator expect what? Public constructor inside the class? Without public constructor, can we use new operator outside the class? No. If I make that constructor as private constructor, object creation for that class outside the class possible? That means biggest door is closed to create the object using new operator. That biggest door is closed means 90% problem gone. So what is my first step is place private zero param constructor and don't place any other public constructor in the class. Okay. Using reflection API possible. That's what I said. You have to close that door also. Okay, when you close that door, then it becomes perfect singleton. Clear now, my dear? Yes, boss. Now tell me next one. Creating singleton Java class is nothing but closing all the doors of creating object for the Java class from outside of the class and opening only one door to create the object. In the door, we create the object by checking whether the object is already created or by checking whether object is already created or not. Everyone understood, guys? Super. Now listen. Okay, when you place private constructor in the Java class, no public constructor. Possibility of object creation using zero param constructor gone na, outside the class. New operator gone. Okay, but listen. Yeah, outsider wants to create object. So the outsider, the outsider should place one static factory method having logic to create and return object. Why static factory method, guys? Array, outside the class, method should be accessed without object. Because method only called to create the object. Method only called to create the object. Are you understanding my statement? So method should be static method. Method should be public method. Inside that method, logic should be there to create and return object by checking whether object is already created or not. Place public static factory method having singleton logic. That means create object for create object for the class if the object is not already there. Otherwise, return the existing object. Otherwise, return the existing object reference. Convinced, boss? In static factory method, check object is already created or not. If not created, create and return. If already created, return the existing object reference. Okay, listen, guys. If not created, you are creating now. If I can store that object reference in a variable, that can be used to check whether the object is already created or not. And when I create the object, I should hold the reference of the object in a variable so that I can use that reference variable to check whether object is already created or not. How to check? If that reference variable is having null, object is not already created, create the object. Not null, object is not already created, return the existing object reference. So I should take one static reference variable or not? I should take one static reference variable or not? I want reply, boss. I'll write code in front of you, don't worry. I will write code in front of you. Why static reference variable? What is my factory method? Static method. In static method, what is visible? Static only visible. That's why static reference variable. Yes, na boss. Where I want to use that reference variable? Static method. That's why I should take static. Why I should take private, boss? This reference variable as private. No outsider should think about using that reference variable directly for creating object. That's why it should be visible within the class. It should be visible within the class means it should be taken as private or not. It should be visible within the class means it should be taken as private or not. Yeah. Okay, printer.java, I want to make it as a singleton class. What is the user? Let us assume 20 employees are there in a software company. I want to make all people using same printer. I don't want to see different programmers creating different printers or purchasing different printers. So better to design printer. If I assume same requirement in a software environment, better to design printer as a singleton class or not? Better to design printer as a singleton class or not? Okay, what is the first thing I should do, guys? Private printer. Sysout. Printer. Zero param construct. Printer zero param construct. Okay, guys. No, writing, this is only for our reference. Okay, now listen, I'm taking static reference variable, guys. Private static printer instance. By default, any variable contains what, guys? Null only, na? Any reference variable hold contains null only, na? Yes. Okay, printer is the same class reference variable. Why static? My static factory method, static reference variable. Why this instance is taken like this, guys? Okay, so that I can, next. Public static printer is the return type. Get instance is the method. Or any name taken, you can take. Okay, static factory method. That to public static factory method. Why? Already constructor is private, member variable is private. To create object of this class outside the class, one door should be open. That door should be visible outside the class. That's why that door is static factory method. To make this method outside the class, this method is taken as public method. This method is taken as public. Check it out, guys. If instance double equal to null, if instance double equal to null, if it is object is not already created, instance is equal to new printer of. So how can you use new, sir? I cannot use a new operator outside the printer class to create object. After all, printer is a private constructor, but I can use new operator within the class numbers. I can use new operator within the class now, boss. Come on, new printer. Okay, if object is already available, what should I do? Return instance. Object is already there, return instance. End of the method. Okay. Array, we don't develop only class for singleton. In singleton class also, business methods will be there, guys. Business methods will be there, right? In singleton also, business methods will be there. Public string to string, sorry, public wide print method. Public wide string print method. String MSG, system dot out dot println MSG, semicolon. System dot out dot println MSG. System dot out dot println MSG. Okay, guys. This is rule number 1 now, boss. Rule number 1 is followed. Okay. Private static printer is equal to null. Tushara Damara, without reference variable, can you take any variable? Okay, everyone look at the question asked by Tushara Damara. Muddy fellow, stupid fellow. You don't know core Java and Lightning Spring classes. Can you take a variable without variable name? Can you take reference variable without variable name? Can you take string variable without variable name? Bro? Waste fellow. Early morning, you forgot Java basics. Huh? You want to take printer is equal to null. Stupid fellow. Okay. In case of multiple call, it will create multiple objects. Huh? Who said, right here, I'm checking for null. Na? Okay. Here is the third one. This is the third rule implementation. This is third rule implementation. This is my singleton logic na boss. Singleton logic. Singleton logic. Array, I have taken letters in uppercase for easiness, nothing else. Generally, static variable, final variables will be taken in uppercase, guys. Okay. Okay, now let's see the client application, guys. Printer P1 is equal to printer dot get instance. Okay, first printer class is loaded. When loaded, this is allocating memory with null value. Yes. Then get instance method is called. Get instance method is called. Get instance. How can you call method on the class name? Either it's a static method, public method, possible. Instance is null? Yes. Okay, I am asking to create object. Object is created. So now printer object is created, referred by instance. Referred by instance. This work is done now, boss. Then return instance. That will come to main method. I am referring that one with P1. So P1 and instance both are referring same object now, boss. Instance is already referring printer object from what? Static factory method scope. But from client application scope, who is referring the same object? Okay, P1 is referring the same object. Okay, that's the first time, guys. That's the first time. Second time, printer P is equal to printer P2 is equal to printer dot get instance. Second call. Second call. Second call, guys. Method is called. If the instance double equal to null, guys, null, no, instance is already referring address of the object. So then what it will do? Return instance. It is returning existing object reference or not. It is returning existing object reference or not. So it is referring. So I am trying to print the hash code of both objects. Same hash code will come. Gives same hash code. Array P1, P2, both references are pointing to same object. Next. SOP. P1 double equal to P2 question mark. P1 double equal to P2 question mark. I want to check whether both references are pointing to same object or not. I want to check whether both references are pointing to same object or not. That gives me true, guys. That gives me true. That gives me true, guys. Already proved na, boss. So, but is it perfect singleton, guys? No. Why? It is not perfect singleton. Why? I can create object for this class by using reflection API by accessing private constructor. I can create object through deserialization. I can create object through custom class loader. I can create object through cloning process. Other options are there. When you close all these doors, then class become perfect singleton. Then the class becomes perfect singleton. Right now, boss. This printer class is not in multi-threaded environment. Also, multiple objects may come, guys. So if you close all those doors, then it become perfect singleton. This printer class is not perfect singleton Java class. This printer class is not perfect singleton Java class. This printer class is not perfect singleton Java class because because we can still create objects for this class using other approaches. Okay. To make this class as perfect singleton, right now, boss? Perfect singleton. Sachin Jadhav instance is one reference variable, Rabav. How you take string variable, similarly one variable. Since it's uppercase, you are confused, shame on you. Since it's uppercase, you confused, just another variable. Just another variable, Rabav. String S1. Okay. Fine. I mean to say like this, private static printer instance is equal to null. Sir, I also taken the same Narabo. Muddy fellow, I also taken the same. Equal to null is not required by default. Null will be there. Tushara, you don't know this small point you completed core Java. Member variables in of type reference will hold default by what? Null only, na? To make the class as perfect singleton. Singleton, we need to take care of additional things. What are those, guys? Protection from multi-threaded environment. Protection from deserialization. Protection from reflection API. Protection from cloning. Protection from custom class loader. Custom class loader. Or class loader, subclass loader. We have to give these many protections, guys. Then only the class become perfect singleton, right? Okay, guys. Everyone getting my point there, guys? Super. Okay, shall we prove this one practically, guys? Multi-threaded protection, reflection protection, serialization protection, cloning protection. What is there? Custom class loader protected. Okay. Let's prove this one carefully, guys. Someone is asking, in real projects, where this will be used? Whenever you take a class without state, without data, better to create one object and make it and use it for multiple times. So in all those situations, we can think about singleton. Or you have a class which is having shareable data across the multiple classes. Right? So that time also singleton is good now, boss. Suppose, listen. I have a class that loads countries from the database on the application startup. Tell me these countries will remain same in the entire execution of the project for next few years? Yes, na? If you allow to create one object and use that object for multiple time, good na? Instead of creating more objects, more time hitting database, more time loading the countries, it's meaningless or not? So we should think about taking Java class as singleton in following three situations. When class is not having state, when class is having read-only state, when class is having shareable state. In these three situations, it's better to think about taking Java class as what? Perfect singleton class, guys. Take the Java class as whatever the use case. Okay, you take that countries example, boss. Country should be loaded into application only for one time. Should be stored into object only for one time. If you create one object, they will be stored only for one time into object, right now, boss? But if you allow to create more object, more time countries will come and store it. You create 1,000 objects also same countries, 200 objects also same countries. So create one object and load the countries only for one time into object and use them for multiple time. Take the Java class as singleton Java class in the following situation. In the following scenarios. Yeah. If the Java class is not having state means member variables, guys. If the Java class is having, okay, only read-only state. Only read-only state. C. If the Java class is having, shareable state across the multiple other classes. Across the multiple other classes. Got it, guys? So shall I first write small singleton class, guys? Small singleton class example. Then I will link this knowledge with the Spring Beans. Okay. But today what class I developed is perfect singleton? No. Singleton with minimum standards. This point is must. Because with this knowledge, if you start telling that I know how to develop singleton, after seeing code, he will ask, is it perfect singleton? If you say yes, he will laugh at you. If you say yes, he will laugh at you. Understanding my statement? Okay. Satish, why? Predefined classes are 3-4 are there. For my own class, I want singleton behavior. What should I do? What should I do? Everyone, please look at the question asked by Satish. Why? Sometimes I don't know where people thinks what people thinks also. Sir, this is predefined class from system already. Why we take care of this process? Come on, what nonsense you are talking, Satish? Why? Tomorrow you have your own class. Class may have read-only state, empty state, or shareable state. Then you won't design your class as singleton. Guys, please respond. Are you having such questions? Already predefined singletons are there now. Why should I take? Why should I take singleton classes, right? Okay. Printer is not a predefined class. Printer is a user-defined class. There is no predefined class called printer, right? When I ask reverse question, please respond, so that I can read your mind, what's going in your brain. Maven archetype quick start. Maven archetype quick start. Say next. IOC pros. What is the number, guys? 17. Singleton class test. Singleton class code. com.nt.test. Finish. Come here. New package. New package. It's mostly asked a question in the interview room. But I want you people to give answer of perfect singleton, not the normal singleton. If you ask for a sample code, you have to write the sample code of perfect singleton. com.nt.eston. If you write, okay, yes, 10. Yeah, now let me make my printer class as singleton, guys. Printer. Static reference variable to hold. Okay, single object reference. Single object reference. Right now, boss? Okay. Private printer. Sysout. Printer colon 0 param construct. Printer colon 0 param constructor. What is this? Private static printer instance. Private static printer instance. Right now, boss? Okay. Okay, boss. This is what? Number 2. 0 param constructor. Zero param constructor. Public static factory method having singleton logic. So public guys, static guys, printer guys. Guys, everyone please come back. Everyone please come back. Get in a stance or get in a stance. What is the logic, guys? Singleton logic. Tell me. In a stance double equal to null. Instance is just another variable, Rao. Don't. Instance is another variable. I have just given meaningful name to it. That's it. Instance is equal to new print graph. People are becoming panic. What is instance? Array, some name, Rao. You don't like, take something else. Written instance. Okay. Yeah. Singleton is ready, guys. New class. New class. Boss. Singleton class test. Here is the main method. Singleton class test main method. Printer P1 is equal to printer dot get instance. Printer P1 is equal to printer dot get instance. Printer P2 is equal to printer dot get instance. Everyone getting my point? Access to the objects. Yeah. Sysout P1 dot hash code space P2 dot hash. Sysout P1 dot hash code space P2 dot hash. Next, sysout P1 double equal to P2. P1 double equal to P2. End of main method, guys. End of class. Okay. Raghavendra Tadekar, I already given public static factory method. Again, you are asking, sir, is it called factory method of printer class? Please, guys, if you don't want to study, quit the batch. Don't waste my time like this. How many times I said, Ra? Public static factory method having singleton logic. Tell me, where I have written that comment? These boys don't behave like LKG, UKG students. Run as a Java application. See, same hash code now, boss, 35, 35. P1, P2 is equal to true. One thing I realized, boss, you are sitting in front of system without taking bath, without taking brush. So that's why your mind is not opening up while listening the class. You are not at all active. You are half drowsy and half active. My request to everyone is, don't sit in the class without taking bath, without taking brush. Try for a few days. It's working or not working, boss? So now, let me introduce Spring Bean scopes, guys. It's working or not? Our theory and practicals are matching or not matching? How many ways are there to prove it is a singleton class? Okay, though I asked two objects, but it has given one object. How many times constructor executed? One time. How many times constructor executed? One time. Same hash code, 35, 35. Both references are pointing to same object. That's why true has come. Right now, boss? Okay. Spring Bean scopes, guys. IOC container can keep Spring Bean class object in various scopes to increase or restrict the object visibility and accessibility. If you create object at method level, method scope. If you create object at class level, Object scope. If we create class like, if we create object as a static variable, class scope. If we create object inside the if condition block scope. Spring 1.x, guys. These are the possible scopes, guys. Tell me. Scopes in Java application. Local scope specific to each method. Block scope specific to each flower bracket and closing. Object scope instance variable specific to each object. Class scope static member variable common for all objects of a class. All objects of a class. These are scopes in Java, normal Java application. Okay, thread scope specific to each thread. For this, use thread local class. For this, use thread local class. Yeah, in future you will get it, guys. Scopes in Java application. Spring Bean scopes are in 1.x only 2 scopes, guys. Right. It's right. Next, Spring 2.x. Singleton prototype request session. These are only in web application level. Request session can be used in web application. Singleton prototype can be used in what? Web application and standalone application. Can be used in all types of application. All types means both standalone, both in standalone applications and web applications. Spring 3.x, guys. X, guys, come on. Singleton default for all scopes, for all application. Prototype, these two are request session, global session, guys. Request session, global session. Request session, global session. Getting my point? This is for web application. Global session is extra. Related to portlets of portal development. Advanced websites are called portals. To develop that portals, we have portlet technology. We have portlet technology. Right now, boss? So there we have a global session scope, guys. There we have a global session scope. Right now, boss? Flipkart.com is a portal or website, boss? Flipkart.com is a portal or website. Flipkart.com is a portal because multiple services are offered there. Not only customer can purchase, vendors can keep the products. Vendors can keep the products, right? Some promotions, some cash coupons, some lot of things will be there. Nowadays, I think free pizza also coming sometimes. Free pizza also coming in some places, right? Okay, guys. The advanced website. The advanced website where the multiple services are provided. In multiple parallel windows. is called portal. Is called portal. To develop this portal in Java, take the support of Portlet Dev. Yes, boss. Yeah, Spring 4.x, guys. Singleton prototype, request, session, WebSocket. While working with WebSocket protocol, which is alternate to HTTP protocol. In web application, we can work with what? WebSocket protocol, which is alternate to HTTP protocol. This is for all application. These three are this way. Understanding my statement? Here, global session not there, na boss. Not there, that's why not given, please. Because portlet technology is outdated. That's why global session is also removed. That's why global session is also removed. Spring 5.x, even 6.x. From, okay guys. Now 5.x and 6.x. Singleton prototype for all web applications. Request session application is extra, WebSocket. Application is extra. Application is extra. Request scope means Spring Bean object will be created on one per request basis. Session means one per browser window. Application means one per web application. Okay. Application means one per web application. For now, boss, right? In XML driven configuration, we use scope attribute of bean tag to specify Spring Bean scope. If no scope is specified, the default scope is, what is the default scope, guys? Singleton scope. The default scope is Singleton scope. Okay. In annotation driven configurations, we can use @ we can use @ scope annotation. Okay, to specify the Spring Bean scope that is configured in XML, that is configured using annotations. Spring Bean scopes in 5.x, guys. This is in all application, request session, WebSockets. Shall we start understanding, boss? What is Singleton scope? Point number 1. Singleton scope is nowhere related to Singleton class. Singleton scope of Spring Bean does not make Spring Bean as Singleton class, but gives the effect of Singleton class because of scope Singleton. Singleton scope gives the effect of Singleton class, but it is not making Spring Bean as Singleton class. It is not going to make Spring Bean as Singleton class. But same effect will come without making Spring Bean as Singleton. Okay. If Spring Bean scope is Singleton, how many objects will be created for that Spring Bean by IOC container, guys? One object. For Singleton Java class, how many objects are allowed to create? One. So similar effect is there. Only effect is matching, not the process, not the implementation. Don't confuse. Don't confuse in that way. Makes the IOC container to create only one object for Spring Bean class and to reuse that object reference across the multiple factory.method calls get bean method call with that Spring Bean ID, with that Spring Bean ID, with that Spring Bean ID. That means creates one object and reuses that object. IOC container does not make Spring Bean class as singleton class, though its scope is singleton. But it gives singleton behavior by creating only one object for Spring Bean class. By creating only one object for Spring Bean class. Oh. By creating only one object for Spring Bean class. Got it, my dear? Only singleton scope Spring Beans will be placed in the internal cache of IOC container, because that scope Spring Bean class object should be reused for multiple times. Sir, no singleton class is involved, but how does object is reused? Because that object is kept in internal cache, na boss. Because that object is kept in internal cache, na, that's why object is reused. That's why object is reused. Are you getting my point, guys? Can we get 100% singleton scope? Yes, what is there in that? Singleton scope. In any situation, only one object will be created for that object by IOC container. With respect to IOC container, for singleton scope Spring Bean, only one object will be created. Okay. For singleton scope Spring Bean class, the IOC container creates only one object in any situation. Creates only one object in any situation. And keeps that object in the internal cache of IOC container, in the internal cache of IOC container. Okay, IOC container for reusability. Mr. Chaudhary, you don't read my English statements properly. Effect is the same. Design pattern is different. Scope is different. When I will make you people to understand, Babu, effect is same. Design pattern is different. Scope is different. Array, A is equal to C is listen. C is equal to A plus B. C is equal to B plus A. Both outputs looks the same, but process is different, formula is different. Destination is same, guys. Effect is same, but the journey is different. Getting my point? Aditya C, I'm asking one more time. With respect, within IOC container, it is singleton scope. If you want to create object for singleton class manually, why it will not allow? Happily allows. But in Spring program, are we going to create objects manually? No. So that's why singleton scope will continue. Again, I am telling worst fellows, my dear, when I say singleton scope, within IOC container, one object for that Spring Bean. No, sir. Outside IOC container, I create more objects for Spring Bean manually. Create it. That's what I'm clearly saying. With respect to IOC container, singleton means one object for Spring Bean. For that class is normal class. For that class, any number of objects can be created. But IOC container is interested in only one object. IOC container is interested in only one object. Got it? See guys, class allows n number of objects, but someone is interested in one object. That class is not singleton, guys. Though someone is interested to create lot of objects, if class is allowing you to create only one object, then it is called singleton. So class is allowing more object, but you are happy with one object. Is it called singleton? Is it called singleton? Is it called singleton? Arey, listen. You are in police department. Lot of bribe is offered, but you are not taking bribe. Then you are called singleton person. Sincere person, right? You are in library department. No one is offering bribe. That's why you are not taking bribe. Are you called sincere? Okay, one more funny example. So many girls are liking you. But still you are not attracted to everyone. You are focused on Java and job. Then you are called what? Then you are called as what? Genuine single person. Genuine single person, right? Or single or gentleman. Single or gentleman, right? You are alone because no one is liking you, no one is coming near to you. Then you are called genuine single person. Genuine single person. Our servlet component class is singleton. Our servlet component class is singleton. No. No. Why? Container is happy with one object, but class is normal class only. Container is happy with one object. Our singleton scope Spring Beans are singleton. No. Class is normal class only. Container is happy with one object as long as that scope is there. Though the class is allowing us to create more objects, if the programmer or container or something is just creating one object, then we cannot call that class as singleton Java, singleton class. That class is normal Java. Normal Java class. So, though the programmer or container or ... is looking to create more objects for Java class, if the class is allowed to create only one object, if the class is allowed to create only one object, then it is called singleton Java. Singleton Java class. Right now, boss? Tell me next one. Servlet component is not singleton. Is not singleton Java class. Though servlet container creates only one object, servlet component class. Only one object for servlet component class. Singleton scope. Spring Bean is not a singleton Java class. Though IOC container creates only one object for it. Only one object for it. I think you got it, guys. Perfect statements have come. Okay. Muthiar Khan. Just a point, right? Does not mean you should know servlet. To understand this does not mean you should. It's a point to be remembered, right? It's a point to be remembered. Yeah. How singleton scope will work? Check it out. Here no scopes are given. What is the default scope? Singleton. If you want to give scope, what is the attribute we are having? And in annotation environment, how to specify the scope, guys? Public class wish message generator. Some code. Here is my @component WMG. @component WMG. @component WMG. @scope singleton. It's a class level annotation, guys. It's a class level annotation. This is annotation driven example. In annotation driven configuration. In annotation driven configuration. Okay, guys. What is the flow of execution? How does it works? I will discuss later, guys. Lot of hangama is there. Okay. Are we going good? Are we going good? Come on. The existing Google Classroom for daily notes is not working for me. Notes are not getting updated after April 28th. When I contact Naresh team, shared me new link, new classroom. They said like existing is full since last week. I contacted multiple times. Still I did not get the new link officially from others boss. Okay, today I will contact the admin. I will update you. If 2 links are there for your batch, I will give both links. Don't worry. But officially, I did not receive any link. When evening batch starts after 1 month, 45 days. Thank you. Have a nice time, guys. We'll meet tomorrow. We will discuss more about the scopes. Thank you. Have a nice